Let's go and get started, Coach. Initial thoughts on this evening's game?
Well, I thought we came out a little flat, and I don't know, no excuses. I don't know if it was just fatigue or whatever. But I think the biggest thing you have to do is just give New Orleans credit because they came out really hungry tonight and they took it to us, and we just didn't really recover. To be honest, we got it down there at the end and made it interesting to 6, but. We dug ourselves a really big hole, and sometimes when you do that, it takes so much energy to come back, obviously, and then our third game in 3 days that I just didn't know we could muster enough there at the end. I think our game plan was good. They're very big and very physical, and they throw the ball inside quite a bit, and I think that's probably where we're a little thin at this year. So, it was just a tough matchup for us all the way around.
And again, as we go to the Q&A, let's please use a microphone and name and affiliation. Thank you.
Brandon Williams, Southland.org. Coach, very physical game at the end. They shoot 24 out of 30 from the line, and your guys, obviously, from the fact that you were behind early, just weren't able to get to the line as often.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened. We shot 12 free throws. And they shot 30. I can't answer that question. I didn't call that game. I thought that we played really hard and physical too, but we just didn't get what we needed done.
Amos Morale, NOLA.com, the Times Picayune. Coach, in the second half, you guys were able to, come out, seem like you were getting better shots early on in the second half, and then seemed like some of those tough shots started falling later. Just what were you guys able to do to be more effective early on in the second half offensively?
Yeah, I thought we finally started to get the ball inside just a little bit, which loosened them up a little, and then we got downhill some, and we really got some good penetrating kicks, which we had talked about doing in the first half. We didn't do a lot of, and then you made some threes. Dakari got hot, Josh came in and hit a couple, and you make those threes, and the way the college basketball game is nowadays, you make a couple of three-pointers and a 18-point lead turns into a 12-point lead, and all of a sudden people get a little tight. And I think that's what happened. But, again, you have to give them credit because they withstood that run, and they made free throws when they needed to and made a couple of tough plays down the stretch.
Gary Smith with the New Orleans Advocate. Coach, I don't think too many people saw this season coming from UNO before the season started. But what makes that team as good as it's turned out to be this year?
Well, I'm not really. I don't know how I don't know how people generate who gets picked where. He has a team that's grown together, and a lot of those guys have been together for 4 years. So I'm not sure how he could have been picked 10th because he has a lot of experience. And even though they haven't been on the stage here, maybe like we have, that they've been together for 4 years, and I would think if you asked him, he probably would tell you that he thought he would even be in this position last year as those guys were juniors. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. They're really good. They're big. They're physical. Their guards are what I would call old school, control the ball, physical guards. They're big, and they've got a good basketball team. He does a great job. He's a good coach. He always has been. I've known him forever. I'm very proud for him. In his program, and they were just a better team today.
Question for both Dakari and Paul. The experience that you guys have, how important was it to have that level of experience, knowing the fact that you were down at one point at 18 in the second half, but still knew you had a chance to get back into it?
Just like I tell my teammates at every night, we all that we have, and the game ain't over till the fat lady sings. So we just have to dig down deep. And we've been down. Every time that we're down, we always find a way to come back. Sometimes when we come off flat and get punched in the mouth, that gives us that drive to come back even harder. And as you can see, we kept digging. Some things just didn't go our way because of the way that we started. But I feel like if we would have started the way that we finished, we definitely would have. The outcome would have been different.
Like Dakari said, the game's not over till it's over. I feel like with the seniors on our team, that's one thing that we were trying to make sure the team knew is that, like Coach said, it can be a 19-point game and 2 threes fall for you. It's a 12-point game. The other team's tight. You have no momentum, and that can make the world of a difference.
Coach, it seemed like you touched on it a little bit. It seemed like a complete opposite from the first two nights. You got off to strong starts on Wednesday and Thursday night, but what did they do that perhaps might have thrown you guys off and kept you from getting off to a good start tonight?
Well, I don't think it's anything that, I mean, they have some areas that are just a little different than ours. I guess that's the way to put it. I mean, their four-man is 6'8" and 230, and their offense is geared to throw the ball inside. And, I mean, they got a lot of touches early in the game in there, and they got a couple calls, and next thing you know, we're in foul trouble. I mean, Paul had 2 quick fouls in the first half, and Galbraith had quick 2 fouls, and Armas had quick 2 fouls, and and our bench has been good all year long, but obviously those guys are real good players. That's why they're starting. And so it was, it put us into a tough bind in that first half, and then we got down pretty bad. And, it was, again, a hole that we dug ourselves that was hard to get out of.
Any final questions for these guys before we let them go?
20 wins on the season, certainly, the chances are good for you guys to be playing beyond tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a few calls already. To be honest with you, I haven't thought a lot about that because these kids and myself, our goal is always to get to the NCAA tournament, and they did everything they could and fought, and I just haven't really thought much about any kind of postseason other than the NCAA tournament. And obviously, that's not going to happen this year. And as a coach, I mean, I feel like I've let these guys down. We just didn't get it done, didn't get there where we wanted to get. We've been right there 3 out of the last 4 years, and we just hadn't got it done. So I'm not sure about postseason. I'll talk with my athletic director and our administration and just kind of see where we'll go from here.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks.